Hey everybody, it's Monique Leslie, Misfit Crafter here, and Misfit Crafter on all social media except TikTok, misfit.crafter. Somebody got to it first. But anyway, I just had was just watching Inspired by Melody Lane, found out that there are some new Cricut um, features, or I should say an adjustment to one of our favorite features, one of my favorite features, the print and cut. And for the longest time, I've been wanting a much bigger area for print and cut, because basically if you were on an 8.5 by 11 paper, you only had an area of 6.7 inches, 6.75 inches by 9.25 inches of an area that you could actually cut or print and cut something on. So it kind of limited you to how much space. You ended up kind of with some wasted space sometimes. Um, but Cricut is actually going to be releasing, from what I hear soon, I don't have an exact date, the new print and cut sizing, along with and kind of auto sizing for print and cut. But if you want, you can actually test it now on the beta version of the Cricut. Just so you know, the beta version can be sometimes just a little bit glitchy, or just a little funky, I guess you can say. So you gotta have patience with it sometimes. But I'm gonna show you how to actually get the beta version and show you a little bit about what I've learned about the print and cut. So I'm also using not a new software, but one I haven't used in a while, and they've changed a lot. So if anything happens funky, I apologize ahead of time. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to try to take, you're going to see me look that way for a second, but I'm going to take off me for a bit. All right. So right now, hopefully, should only be seeing my screen. So this is basically just Cricut open for us right now. And actually, I think, no, I can't. Okay. Sorry about playing with that. Okay. Like I said, I'm kind of learning it as I go. But okay, so this is our Cricut design space that's open right now. And hopefully you can see everything just fine. If not, I apologize ahead of time. Just going to do a tiny adjustment here so I can see a couple of things a little better. All right, and I know I'm streaming this really late, so I apologize if I miss anything in the chat. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the whole thing. But I promise you I will get used to it soon enough. So a couple things. So if you're not on the beta, which probably not, I'm going to show you first how to get the beta if you want to get it, so that you can use this print and cut feature before it's released. So on any design space, basically, you're going to go up to your little hamburger or window thing. They called it a hamburger, so now I'm going to call it a hamburger. But they called it that on Inspired with Melody Lane. But it's your menu, your three little menu bars over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your settings. The first page of settings, application experience. You're just going to click on that beta. It's going to let you know that it's probably going to restart your design space. So make sure you save anything that you want saved. And then you just hit done. If you haven't used beta before, it will load up, kind of install the beta version for you. Or really, even if you've used it before, it's going to install the beta version. So just know that it's going to close down design space and start it back up. And if you want to go back to the regular live version, you can always do that. So don't worry about that. All right. So once your beta version is all put in, here's a couple or a few new cool things. So basically, this was a set of stickers that I made a while back, and I set it so that it would fit in 6.75 by 9.25. I made it as big as I could to make sure that it fit pretty well. I'm sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. There we go, all nice and muted. But and I set it so that it would fit in 6.7. There you go. So I made it as big as I could so it'll fit, and I could fit as many of these as I could possibly do on this, on 6.75 by 9.25. But the new sizes now, and there's several different ones, but we're going to go off just the 8.5 by 11, but you can actually now print and cut on more sizes than before, because before it was just the 8.5 standard letter or A4 size paper. Now you can actually do 11 by 17, 11 by 14, and I'm missing one size, but we'll show you that in a minute. So basically, if we were to go ahead and make this particular version, we went to make it, this is how you can kind of see where or how big everything can be. Also, you're going to see how it's showing us the new registration marks. So the registration marks have semi-changed. So now you can see before it was just one big box around the whole thing. Now it's just these corner boxes. But if you can also see, if you see the red line, this is basically showing you where or how big of an area you can put your cuts now. So when you get your maximum space now, it's a little different. So it doesn't go off a square box anymore. It goes off of this red line that goes along here. So whenever you're going to print and cut something, it will let you know if it's too big for the shape of the cut you're wanting to do. So keep in mind that means in these middle areas, you have more of an area to actually add more parts to your item or make it a little bit bigger now. So the different material sizes that you have now is 8.3 by 11.7, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, and 11.7 by 16.5. For all purposes for now, we're just going to work on the 8.5 by 11 so that we can see what each one of those sizes brings us. So the first thing I did was like, I want to know like what's the biggest I can get out of this, and like how can I make myself a template so that I have these parts of the screen showing, so I know that when I make something that I can size it to these marks now. So what I did was I took a screenshot after after removing the item. So here's what I did. I did a standard print to cut because what I noticed is that no matter how big your item is, it will show you the full registration mark instead of the way it used to just show you like the registration mark according to the size of your project. It shows you the full size of the registration mark, so you know exactly what your area is. So what I did was I chose to hide the selected project. So I had a blank area and I took a screenshot. So if you're on a Mac, you have a screenshot, usually a button right on your keyboard. I forget what the other shortcut is on a Mac. Or on a Windows computer, if you have it, there's a snipping tool. And you can just do a screenshot. Now here's the only thing that I made sure I did was if you take your mouse away from the screen, the red registration marks go away. So you can't like click on the snipping tool and then take the screenshot. So make sure that when you're looking at your snipping tool, if you look, Windows logo key plus Shift plus S will start the snipping tool. Make sure you already have it to the mode you want, either full screen or rectangle mode is what I would prefer. So if I hit Windows, Shift, and S, my snipping tool pops up and I just choose what snipping tool I want. So you can do like full screen, circle, lasso, whatever you want. So I just did the rectangular mode and I got as close as I could to the sizing so one, I would know what size it was. Okay, so I ended up taking a snip of that. So it saves it in my folder for under photos and then screenshots. Or pictures and then screenshots. So if you're trying to look for it. So what I did after that was I ended up uploading it to Design Space and I trimmed out all the little extra that was on the outside that showed the mat and everything on the edges. And I basically just left the actual 8.5 by 11 visual on there. So what I'm going to do is grab that screenshot of of my registration marks for the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Now I did this for every single size so that if I do have a bigger piece of paper, then I can adjust it to whatever that is. But for the most part, I use 8.5 by 11 because I usually make stickers and things. You know, it's usually stickers and stuff like that. I can see myself now, though. This is perfect now for like sublimation, because one of the things that I did notice is that if I ever wanted it to help me cut out like things for sublimation for like my mugs and stuff, it was always too short. So now I can actually print for sublimation mugs and things like that, so it's longer and it gives me more space now, which is great. All right, so what I did is I just get that. We're going to add it to the canvas. Just remember to remove it before you make your project, because this is the full, it is basically just a photo, but this is what I use to make myself a template. So because it's exactly around the edges, I just have to remember to go in here, resize it to an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So we're going to do 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to lock that up, and I'm going to send it to the back so it's behind everything. What I like about this too is because usually what I would do to set up everything for my print and cut is I would just go in here and grab a template for 6.75 by 9.25. But now and it would always show up in this left corner only, and I couldn't move it. So at least this way I can move it wherever I want. Now, just so you know, there is a thing in here that you can use it as a guide, but as a guide, it's just going to show me the outside edges, so I can't do it that way. So I have to leave it as a print and cut. Oops, and then I have to. So just so you know, if you move it as a guide too and you try to put it back as a print and cut, it comes out black. I have noticed that no matter what. Okay, so right in here, if you just use it as your template now in the background, so you could rearrange this to make it fit so that maybe you could fit more of them. So you can kind of see there's actually more space for me now. These are pretty big, so no matter what, I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of them in there. But now I have a little bit better idea of how much I could actually get onto one page. So if I was really good about it, and I got to detach everything again. I had them all detached and perfectly aligned before. All right, there we go. Oh, I have them grouped. I'm like, why are they not detaching? Sorry it's late, but I was kind of excited to bring you guys this. So I can basically try to get them all within those lines to try to fit as many of these as I can. I'll see if I can, even if I can get one extra one in here, I'll be happy, honestly. So I do remember trying to get these sized, and I couldn't quite do it the way I wanted it. Oops. So basically what I'm doing now is just trying to configure them any way I can to make as much room as possible. And the good thing is now I have a pretty good guide to make sure they can all fit. So I do suggest this. Hopefully Cricut will actually create this guide for us. Hopefully as a template or something. And then we don't have to do it this way. But for now, if you just take that screenshot, clean it up really well on the edges, you'll have a pretty good chance of getting the measurements correct. And I remember when I tried to do it before, there was like just no way I could not get it to fit more than those 6, so I just made them all nice and neat. Like I said, even if I get one more in there, I will be happy. If I'm really good, I might get 2. Let's see. How awesome would that be if I could actually get 2 more? Because I do make my stickers to sell as well as for tutorials. but I do sell my stickers. All right, I'm not going to get another one in there, I don't think. So what I'll usually do is make myself a couple of minis. .5 inches wide. So what I'll do is any sticker that I sell, in order to get the maximum amount of my paper, so I have the maximum amount of profit, this is just a side tidbit, is I will make a set of minis. And if you like, this particular sticker I have available on my website, and the link is in the description. But it comes in a very, very pretty holographic sticker, and it's a vinyl sticker, so it's pretty durable. Lasts a pretty long time. All right, so I'm just adjusting it up. I could probably fit quite a bit more, but this is definitely more than I had before, which is perfect. So after, so just a quick thing about print and cut is, even though I moved all this stuff where I did, or anything else that you ever want to cut on here, first we need to get rid of that template out of the way. And then you need to make sure you go in here and you attach them. Now, all right, so we have a little bit of a problem. Okay, so here's what's kind of cool. So this is what's a little bit new. You've probably seen the little exclamation mark before, that if you make something too big, it will not allow you to cut it. So if it's not quite right, what you can do is go up here, and it's saying our maximum size is 7.26 inches by 9.79 inches now. So what you could do now is you can auto resize your image, but I don't want to do that, because if I auto resize it, it's going to make a bunch of my stickers way too small. So I'm just going to push them in just a little bit. The template might be just a little bit too big, but that's okay. So 7.26 by 9.79 is what I've got to go off of, because basically this maximum size is all going to be slightly different now. So 7.26,979. All right, let's see if we can make this come in a bit. Believe me, I'm pretty good at this now, because I definitely always want to save space. And I know it's this guy right here doing it. So if I have to sacrifice some of these minis, I will do it. There we go. All right. So let's see if that'll do it this time. I'll put this back here just to get a good measurement of how much I made a difference. I could probably add at least one more mini back in there, if nothing else. So let's see if that'll work. Okay. Let's give that a test. So we got 7.16 by 9.4. I think I still have to make it shorter. I think it was 9 point. No, we're perfect. Yay, look at that. So mind you, I only had 6 of them before, so I was able to add an extra one plus some minis. So that's not bad. I don't mind that. I'm not mad at that. So again, if you're just joining, say hi, but basically Design Space now has a bigger print to cut area. If you want to learn how I made this little template of the new print to cut area, because this is what your print to cut looks like now. Now it's only in the beta stages, so remember, you have to get the beta version of Cricut in order to be able to test this out now, but they're supposed to be coming out with it soon. I don't have an exact date, but hopefully hopefully really, really soon. But if you want to get the beta version, if you go back, I remind you how to do that, so you can actually go back and watch this video again, or watch the replay, and I show you how to make that template. I also show you how to get your beta version, so that you're able to make it. So we'll test this out. So I'm going to get rid of the template for right now, so we have no issues. Now it's perfectly sized. So just remember, like I said before, I only had 6 of the bigger stickers and I couldn't really fit much else. I kept trying, believe me, the first time I remember cutting these, I kept trying to get at least one more in there and I just couldn't do it. And I wanted my stickers a certain size. But now you can see they will let me cut it. So this is kind of awesome. So hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about this, because I am very excited. Remember, if it doesn't fit the size, it does have the auto resize, but for me, I didn't want to auto resize because I want these stickers to be a specific size. And I am just going to double check my work a little bit here. Yeah. So as long as there's white space, you will get around it not cutting into each other. So there's enough white space just barely on these two, but it should work. But this is awesome. So now basically you can print to cut a much larger area on much larger pieces of paper if you'd like. They're still not doing 12 by 12, but I mean 11 by 17, that's your biggest one you can do. So if you have a printer that can do 11 by 17, that's the biggest one you can do. And just so you can see as well, so like 11 by 17 is the largest you can do. If you change it to that, it will show you how much extra space you have. So can you imagine if I can find myself 11 by 17 sticker paper the way I want it, I'll just be printing stickers in ridiculous giant batches. I am really happy that we can do it this way now. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it. But how cool is that? So we can do this way, way better now. And like I said, what I did was I basically took a screenshot of every single one of these pages and kept it so that I could use them as templates now. All right, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to bring you guys live videos every Friday or Saturday, since those are my days off from my day job. But if you continue to like and subscribe, hopefully this becomes my day job again. All right, thanks for joining me today. Let's see if I can get this new guy to stop.